Midnight. That was when it happened. That was when everything I thought I knew about him, about us, flipped inside out and left me gasping. We'd been drinking all night, just the two of us. Music low, lights dim. His laughter filling the space between clinking bottles and the thump of my heartbeat. He was the kind of guy everyone swore was untouchable. The straightest dude you'd ever meet. Always bragging about girls. Always pushing away any joke that veered too close to the line. But when the clock hit 12, something changed. I noticed it in the way his gaze lingered a second too long, heavy and sharp, burning into me across the couch. His smile faltered, replaced by something darker, hungrier. "What?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. He didn't answer. Just leaned forward, elbows on his knees, eyes locked on mine like he was peeling me open. "You ever wonder," he said slowly, his words slurred but deliberate, "what it'd be like if we crossed that line?" My breath caught. I laughed. I had to. It was the only way to mask the fire ripping through me. "Bro, don't start. You're drunk." "Maybe," he smirked, though it didn't reach his eyes. "Or maybe I've just been pretending too long." And then he was on me. No hesitation, no warning. Just heat, raw and electric, his hand gripping the back of my neck as his mouth crashed into mine. It was rough, hungry, messy. And it tore every last excuse from my chest. I should have pushed him away. I should have said no. But my body betrayed me, melting against him, matching his fire with my own. His breath was hot against my lips as he pulled back just enough to whisper. "Straight until midnight." Guess the clock ran out. Midnight hit like a dare. I could see it in his eyes before the clock even ticked over. That restless glint, that nervous, hungry flicker he tried to smother with jokes. He'd been calling himself straight since the day I met him, tossing it around like armor, like a shield. But shields crack when the heat's high enough. And in that moment, the air between us burned. We were shoulder to shoulder on the couch, the kind of closeness you only notice when it's too late to move away. His thigh pressed against mine. He didn't shift. Neither did I. "Bro," he muttered, voice low, heavy. A warning, or a plea. My throat went dry. My chest thudded. I didn't move, couldn't. I caught the way his jaw clenched, the way his hand flexed like it wanted to reach, but didn't know how. The silence was louder than any music, any words. And then he looked at me. Not quick, not flinching, but full on. Eyes locked, breath hot. Midnight had flipped the switch. I didn't need permission. I leaned in, just enough for my lips to graze the corner of his mouth. He froze, but didn't pull away. Still straight. I whispered. His laugh was broken, strained, like something inside him snapped. "Not after this." That was all it took. His grip was on me, desperate, reckless, like he'd been starving and finally stopped pretending otherwise. His body pinned me before I could even catch breath, and the couch felt too small for everything spilling out of us. Heat, want, years of denial burning down to nothing. The way he touched me wasn't careful. It wasn't hesitant. It was raw, claiming. The kind of touch that said, "I can't believe I'm doing this, but also I'll never stop now." Every nerve in my body lit up. Every barrier I thought existed was already gone. By the time his mouth crashed into mine, I knew there was no going back. Midnight had undone him, undone both of us, and I didn't want it any other way. His mouth tasted like danger and denial, like every bro joke that had ever covered what he really wanted. His kiss was rough, almost angry, and I took it all, meeting him with the same hunger. My hands found the edge of his shirt, knuckles brushing hot skin. He shuddered like the contact shot through him, then grabbed my wrist, eyes blazing. "Don't!" he started, but the word died in his throat when I leaned closer, lips brushing the shell of his ear. Too late, I whispered. He groaned, the sound torn from deep in his chest. He pushed me back against the couch, his body pressing into mine. Heavy, solid, every inch of him betraying what his mouth still refused to admit. Straight guys don't kiss like that, I said, breathless. He smirked, eyes dark. Guess I'm not straight after midnight. The confession hung between us, electric, before it was swallowed by another kiss. This one slower, more deliberate. His hands roamed now, unsteady but hungry, as though he was memorizing me, burning every inch of skin into his memory. I let him take, let him wrestle with the truth unraveling inside him. His heartbeat thundered against mine, ragged and uncontrolled. I could feel the shift in him, from hesitation to surrender, from pretending to needing. And the more he gave in, the more I wanted to drag him deeper. Say it. I breathed against his mouth. His eyes met mine, fire and fear colliding. I want this. I want you. The words ripped out of him like a secret finally freed. And hearing them was more intoxicating than the heat of his touch. In that moment, the world outside the walls didn't exist. Just us. Just this. Just the truth that midnight had stripped him bare. And there was no turning back. The second those words left his mouth, something in him shattered. It was like watching a dam burst. He stopped holding back. His kiss deepened, almost violent in its need. His hands gripped me like he was afraid I'd disappear if he let go. Fingers digging, pulling, claiming. I could feel him trembling, not from fear, but from the sheer force of finally letting himself want this. Want me. I couldn't breathe, not from lack of air, but from the weight of him pressing down, from the heat rolling off his skin. Every movement, every sound, every ragged gasp tore at my chest, setting me on fire. Damn it, he groaned against my neck, voice wrecked. I've wanted this longer than I'll ever admit. That confession hit harder than his hands, harder than his mouth, harder than anything. My body arched into his, shameless. His breath was hot against my skin, desperate, reckless, unstoppable. There was no hesitation now, no half measures. He was undone, and in the wreckage of his denial, he was feral, taking what he wanted, giving back more than I knew he had. Every barrier that had stood between us, the jokes, the bro talk, the straight act, it all burned away in the heat of that moment. What was left was raw, unfiltered hunger. He wasn't straight. He wasn't anything but mine, right then. And I let myself sink into it, into him, into everything we'd been pretending wasn't there. The room spun, the world shrank, and all I knew was the pounding of his heart against mine and the unstoppable rhythm of us colliding. Midnight had claimed him, and he wasn't going back. His forehead rested against mine, both of us slick with sweat and breathless like we'd just run miles but hadn't moved from the couch. His chest heaved. My hands were still fisted in his shirt. The world outside was silent, but inside, everything roared. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. Just the sound of our breathing, jagged and uneven. Just the heat of him, pressed against me. I felt the tremor in his arms before he even moved, his body caught between wanting to run and wanting to stay. He drew back an inch, eyes flicking over my face like he was memorizing it, like he was terrified it would vanish if he blinked. Say something, he whispered, his voice hoarse. It wasn't a demand. It was a plea. I swallowed hard, searching his face for the guy I knew. The one who'd always joked too loud, kept everything on the surface. He wasn't there. This was someone raw, stripped down to nothing but want. I'm here, I said softly. My thumb brushed his jaw. I'm not running. His eyes squeezed shut like the words hurt, and soothed at the same time. Then he let out a sound, part groan, part laugh, and dropped his head against my shoulder. "You don't get it," he murmured. "I've spent years telling myself this wasn't me. That you weren't." He broke off, shaking his head, breath hot against my neck. "And then you go and kiss me first." I smiled, a small, trembling thing. "Somebody had to call your bluff." That pulled a real laugh out of him, low and rough. He lifted his head, and when his eyes met mine again, something had changed. Not just hunger now, but a flicker of fear, and something tender hidden under it. "What happens after this?" he asked. It was almost childlike, that question, almost shy. I cupped his face, fingers sliding into his hair. "We figure it out," I said. "We don't have to name it tonight." He kissed me again, not the rough, reckless kiss from before, but slow, deliberate. His hands framed my face like I was something fragile. For the first time, it wasn't about release. It was about choosing to be here. When he pulled back, his lips hovered over mine. "You're gonna ruin me," he whispered. I breathed him in, the taste of whiskey and midnight still on his tongue. "Maybe we ruin each other." He chuckled softly, forehead resting against mine again. "Straight until midnight, huh?" I smirked. "Looks like midnight's got a long tail." He tilted his head, smiling now. A real smile, not the cocky mask he wore for everyone else. His fingers traced lazy circles on my thigh. "I don't want this to be just a drunk thing," he said quietly. "I don't want to wake up and pretend it didn't happen." "Then don't," I murmured. "Stay." His eyes searched mine, like he was still waiting for me to pull away, to laugh, to tell him it was a joke. But I didn't. I just stayed. And in that tiny space between our lips, between one breath and the next, I felt him finally decide. He kissed me one more time. Soft, slow, certain. And for the first time all night, it didn't feel like midnight. It felt like the start of something new. His mouth lingered on mine, softer this time, but the tension in his body betrayed him. He was shaking, not from fear anymore, but from holding himself back. I could feel it in the way his hands gripped my waist, strong but hesitant, like if he gave in fully there'd be no pulling back. I pulled his hand from my side and pressed it against my chest, right over my racing heart. "Feel that?" I whispered. "You're not the only one losing it." Something in him snapped again. His lips crashed back to mine, hungrier this time, all teeth and tongue, like he couldn't stand another second of holding back. His weight pressed me deeper into the couch, his body molding to mine, every line of him sparking fire under my skin. I tugged his shirt up and over his head, breath hitching at the sight of him, chest flushed, muscles taut, eyes burning like he'd been waiting years for this. His hands fumbled with my shirt in return, and when skin finally met skin, he groaned into my mouth like the contact was too much and not enough all at once. Every inch of him was hot, solid, undeniable. His hand traced the line of my spine, pulling me closer, deeper, until there was no space left between us. His breath was ragged against my ear as he muttered, "Fuck. I don't know how to stop." I gasped as his lips trailed down my throat, leaving fire in their wake. "Then don't," I breathed. "Don't stop." His laugh was low, wrecked, almost disbelieving. "You're gonna kill me, man." "Worth it," I murmured, dragging my nails down his back. That pulled another groan out of him, primal and unguarded. He kissed me again, slower now but deeper, sinking into me like he wanted to live there. The kind of kiss that strips you down to nothing and rebuilds you in the heat of someone else's need. Time blurred. There was no clock, no outside world. Just his hands, his mouth, his weight pressing me into the couch until I couldn't tell where I ended, and he began. Every barrier we'd ever built, every bro joke, every denial gone. All that was left was this raw, reckless want that neither of us could put back in a box. When he finally pulled back, panting, his forehead dropped against mine again. His lips were swollen, his eyes dark and wild. "Midnight ruined me," he whispered, voice hoarse. I smiled, brushing my thumb over his mouth. Midnight saved us. He kissed me one last time, softer now, like sealing a promise. And as we collapsed together on the couch, tangled and breathless, I knew, whatever came in the morning, we couldn't go back. Midnight had changed everything, and I didn't want it any other way.